Let's start.
Thank you.
Harley, this is, we'll call our workshop meeting to order, and the floor is yours. You're here to give us an update.
Thank you.
Proceed.
Well, first of all, I would be remiss if I didn't say to the commissioners, thank you for your previous show of support in financial ways to community homes over its long duration, which, so I wanted to make sure I said that. But this is really about Canal Affordable Housing. It's 2 years into operations of Canal Phase 1, which was 8 units. And at that time, you did provide us with support, but I wanted to share with you some of the stories about, so what's happened at Canal? And I think some of them don't fit the traditional community homes mold. I'd like to start with our newest resident there, who is a single mom. She has a 3-year-old son, which may or may not be on the autistic spectrum. She came to us being a homeless person. She had no transportation, and she was meeting her employment challenges by either having to use Uber or a taxi cab to get to her appointments. So this particular lady happens to be a registered nurse. But every time she went out to apply for a job, they either wanted her to agree to overtime assignments or to be on call. And with her being a single mom, having a 3-year-old at home, she wanted to have her weekends free to take care of her son. At any rate, our resident, what we call our resident services department, and a lady by the name of Bonnie Heist, some of you may recognize that name, is on our staff, has been working with this lady and was able to coordinate getting her with a dealership in town so she could get a car and she didn't have to rely on Uber, taxi cabs, etc. She works about 30 hours a week. She, at Canal, we cannot have a household whose income is greater than 80% of area median income. And this particular lady, because she is an RN, makes good money. But again, so her rent, which is always going to be 30% of her income, is high for Canal. I mean, it's almost $1,300 a month, but she and her husband, she and her son live in a 2-bedroom apartment at Canal. What about some of the other people there? We have one person who is currently serving as a counselor at a local women's shelter. She came to us homeless. She's also a cancer survivor. Another person is currently serving as a life coach with Jubilee Ministries for those previously incarcerated. And he really came out of the pathway of having been incarcerated himself and had to deal with some addiction issues. And now he's helping others who are coming out of jail and reestablish, a more wholesome lifestyle. Another one of our residents is currently working at Lancaster Lebanon IU 13 as a therapeutic staff support. She works with one child, a very high need child. But again, that particular person is a single mom. She has 3 children living there at Canal, and one of them is autistic. So she does her job and she's a mom. We have another lady who is working, but she had to stop work because of a severe problem with one of her hips. She's having a hip replacement in June. However, one of her daughters is a victim of domestic abuse. So The daughter moved in with our resident, helping mom make ends meet for the time being. Grandma babysits a granddaughter while her mother teaches school. And Lisa is her first name, hopes to return to work after her surgeries. We have another resident was a victim of financial abuse and homelessness. Another person graduated from the programs of Lebanon Rescue Mission, has significant health issues and is wheelchair bound. And the reason I'm sharing all these stories with you is to try to demonstrate to you this is what your support of Canal has accomplished as being one of the funding sources for phase one of Canal affordable housing. And I thought maybe it was time to share that with you. So go ahead.
So back to the RN, who's working 30 hours and her rent is 1,300. I'm assuming that 1,300, it's 30% of the 1,300 is what her rent is.
No,
Her rent is 13.
her rent
Okay.
is 1,300.
When you said that, I thought that sounds awful. So that's the 30%.
And from a housing standpoint, this is something kind of unique, I think, for the county in that we have a single property that can serve multiple layers of people. The lowest rent that we've had at Canal was a family, and their rent was $253 a month. Because it's a mixed income property, we can make it financially sustain itself. We receive no subsidy from any organization other than the Federal Home Loan Bank affordable housing subsidy, which was $750,000 back 3 years ago. That's the only subsidy that's involved in that. But being able to serve extremely low income at or below 30%, low income at or below 50%, and up to 80% AMI, we have a way that we can make the property sustain itself. Did I answer your question?
Yep. And the only other one, this led me to another thought was, so she works 30 hours because she has to stay within a certain allowance amount that she can earn to be eligible for being there. Is that close to right?
Well, that could be
Because of her
close to right.
income and the county average and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So do you guys, or does she watch when she can earn more as the county average goes up? Is that monitored, or is that, I mean, I'm not trying to be harsh, but RNs are very valuable.
Sure.
And for her to suppress her hours because of the requirement of the program seems a little different to me. But
Well, Taryn really wanted to keep her hours under 30 hours because she wanted to be a mom to her son.
Yeah, it's part of
It
it's
wasn't,
not the income, it's
it wasn't the income.
no,
The
because
other thing about this that I should explain to you, this particular program, they have to qualify either being homeless or they have a special needs of some kind, which could be a veteran, is classified as a special needs. But our certification of them is when they move in. They are not monitored if we come up to a year or they want to go full time, like the nurse who wants to go, son's now 10 years old and she wants to go full time. She could do that in this program.
Okay.
All right.
Is the 1,300 the highest paying tenant?
Yes. It is at this time. Okay. But I wanted to give you a sense of it. I mean, these are good people, and we've tried to help them through Bonnie, and the other resident services coordinator is Lori Wise. Many of you probably know Lori, very knowledgeable about the services programs that are available in Lebanon County. And at a recent board committee meeting, I pulled out their progress notes for the residents that have lived at Canal for the last 2 years, and it was 40 pages of notes. So there's a lot of interaction. It costs the residents nothing, and Community Homes is supplying the salaries and benefits for those two ladies on its own nickel. All right, it's not a part of the calculation of operating expenses at Canal.
But the scope of their job is beyond the 8 apartments there, right?
Yes, sure is.
Okay, thank you. That's
All right, they're serving the residents at all of our
good.
buildings.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So any other questions about that? I mean, I hope I've successfully painted a picture of what we're trying to do at Canal. As you might recall, the total development plan for Canal was 23 units. And we've been operational for phase 1 for 2 years now. I've been directed by the board to apply to Federal Home Loan Bank to complete the balance of the 15 units. That application is due August the 6th. And our consultant would love it if I could have everything done by the middle of July. But that will provide an additional 15 units. And I can tell you, I personally experience this, the people stopping me when I'm out and about and they want to know, how can I apply? Is there anything available at Canal? But you know this already. There's an extreme demand for the kind of housing that we supply there. So to be honest with you, a part of this was to introduce you to what are the outcomes so far at Canal, but the other part of it is at some point, I'm going to ask for a opportunity to visit with you at a public meeting and ask you if you would consider supporting us completing the balance of the units at Canal.
This is a public meeting, by the way.
Okay, well, I
Okay.
was,
Well, but it is a workshop and we wouldn't take action. You're
Yeah.
talking about a regular public
Yeah.
meeting where we would potentially take action.
right. My purpose today was just to
Okay.
kind of give you an update.
That's what the purpose is.
I was gonna say, because Matt's reporting on it, I didn't want you to be shocked.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
So there was that part of it. And Joellen, you and I had a little talk before this meeting started. And we were talking, I asked you a question about the Lebanon County Emergency Management Services. What I wanted to say was I met last Friday with Devin, I hope I pronounced her last name correctly, Ioza, an emergency management specialist in that department. And I was talking about the work we've been doing at community homes. We have building evacuation plans for every one of our terrace buildings in the county. And they are specifically tailored to the needs of that building. One of the metrics that I shared with her is the fact that we as a staff, and I'm just going to kind of put this up here for a second. You see a color-coded list of residents. Some of our buildings have up to 40% of the residents living in that building. If we ever had an emergency, I hope we never do, they would need assistance getting out of the building. So it's a metric that I've been talking with the city of Lebanon and now with Department of Emergency Services as of last Friday. Related to that is, and I want to show you this, Monday and Tuesday of this week, 7 staff members at community homes were involved in training put together by the National Center of Housing Management. This particular program was in development for 3 years, and we are among the first in the country who have gone through this training. But what we're trying to do now is coordinate emergency evacuation plans for our properties with the various departments, whether it's city or county or a combination of, to make sure that we can do a responsible life safety response to some kind of significant evacuation. I don't want to, go any further than that, but just to say, this is something we're doing and we're trying to share that with the Department of Emergency Services about this training. Because there's some specifics to high density housing, and we have 3 buildings, Willow Poplar here in the city, and then Tulpe in Myerstown, which are high density properties. And when you're trying to get 40 people that can't use stair towers to get out, that's a big concern. Secondly is, we're very supportive of first responders, but in reality, it's the staff that's the first responder within the initial minutes of an emergency happening, right? It's not the police or the fire or EMT. So I just wanted to share that with you, but my real thrust was to give you an update about Canal and ask for a time when I could, in the near future, when I could come in and explain more details about what's next to finish up Canal.
Just 2 questions. One is, off the top of your head, about what's the cost per unit for one of these units?
About $225,000.
Okay. And the second is, what's the ballpark of your ask? Do you have one yet?
I know what my my preferred is to ask for $750,000. To complete the last 15 units is going to be approximately $3.3 million. The general contractor on this firm has given us a gift in kind of almost $75,000. We have on deposit right now capital campaign funds of $525,000. We need to raise, depending on what you commissioners might decide about support, a minimum of $350,000 to raise privately, and up to maybe as much as $600,000.
How healthy is that fund, Daniel?
Very healthy,
Is it like life support or what?
practically. So accounting for the commitments that were made in 2025 to the Lebanon County Housing Collaborative for the housing coordinator position and the commitment to Habitat for Humanity, there is roughly $180,000 available in the fund today.
So we're a little short.
And you have a request, which is an annual,
Mhm.
or, ongoing request, I guess, for the development authority.
That's right. You have an actual cash balance of $1.25 million, but you have several outstanding commitments that are
Obligations.
quite large.
Hey, Charlie,
Yeah,
I just wanted to find out exactly where you were and where we are.
thank you. I mean, it's good to understand.
We were doing a lot with the money in many different directions, so it's a good thing for housing in Lebanon County, but it's, your timing could be a little,
Could have been better. The one thing I will say that's a positive about all of this is when I came here several years ago, what was available through the affordable housing program was a maximum of $750,000. It changes every year, and this year for 2026, it's up to $1.25 million. And we think we have a pretty good chance of taking that down.
to couple with that, get your mind, the issue of where we are in the fund balance there. The interest rates on housing, where we derive the income for that, it's way down.
Yeah,
So I think it's probably close to half where it was at a peak when things were really humming in the housing market. So the fund grows at a slower pace than we'd like as well. That's pretty accurate, Jimmy.
Thank you, Charlie.
you're welcome. Thank you for your time.
Charlie, good to see you again.
Good
Thank
to
you.
see you. Thanks so much.
It's a good work.
the other's scheduled for 2, so I don't know if they're still waiting on some others. Pretty number of them out there, but I overheard someone said they're waiting.
Oh, just to fill the time, I was going to suggest.
No, he did drop with you though, you want to just maybe mention what you dropped off here, that I have in front of them, that you can see yet, but.
So I did, just deliver a request for Act 137 money as well.
You got in before him though.
Well, and this is, to apply for another home application with the state, the program that we apply for on a semi-regular basis to fund the housing rehab program. So it's been a couple of years because we had that whole home repairs program that's winding down. We'd like to go back for more home money to keep our housing rehab program going. I just left that memo with you there.
So we should not commit your money.
It's your money.
No, I think there's, yeah, certainly
Was it 1.2 million or something? That
No,
was
it's 180,000.
180,000 actually available in your fund now. Did you, Jamie, would it be helpful to? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See what's outstanding there.
Yeah, I can make copies of that if you want to see it first. Okay. One other thing, while Dan is still here, just as by way, by way of update. You'll recall there are 3 homes that are still held by the county, indeed, that were the Community Action Partnerships transitional housing, and we've been sort of mothballing those in anticipation of transacting those over to the, I guess, to officially to the land bank.
Mhm.
And Matt and Assistant Solicitor Tom Long have been working at that. I think we're about this close to
Okay.
getting those. That'll be an action on your part, but originally I thought it was going to be one at a time, but now I guess you guys are in a position to be able to take over all 3,
That's right.
pay the appraised value, and then rehab those into owner occupied housing. So that'd be a good move on his part. So, yep. Yeah, Tom was over last week, I think. Tom Long was. Matt, he and I talked, so. Matt had contacted the title company about getting the title search. Oh, you had answered the email about splitting the
Yeah,
transfer tax and all that. So yeah,
as customary.
so we're right there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Did you need any information from me about Canal Street?
All right.
You're welcome anytime though.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Good to see you all. Take care.
See you.
Thanks.
I just want to plant this seed with you and suggest you maybe, I think I talked to you about this before, at the last CCAT conference. I met with this gentleman, and asked to meet with me. He gave him 10 minutes and he gave me a little demo of this software that they have. They use it for health and human service agencies. And I know we use similar technology at the hospital in transcribing meetings and notes. And again, I'm not suggesting we do it, but to maybe bring him in sometime for a demo. Is more, that's what I was asking him. Are other counties using this right now? And he said, well, it's just beginning, but currently he just sent me a note today to say, currently they are in active conversations with Lancaster County, Washington, Dauphin, Venango, Pike, Wayne, Cambria, and Center counties. And three-month pilots planned for starting July 1. So I'd like to just invite him in for a workshop at some point to give a demo of what they can do. And
Well, if I may counter, right now on YouTube, you can for free in 1 minute get a complete transcription of any of the things that we post. It costs nothing.
I'd like to have that money.
yes, so like I said, I'm not pushing this. I just want to see the technology. Are we interested in pursuing anything or seeing a demo with our staff? I would think, children and youth, area and aging would be most interested. I'd like to have our IT people look at it again. If we could use a YouTube option, I'm not against
I
that.
can show anybody how to do it. It's so
I'm not-
easy.
But
you
you're
know.
missing my point. I just wanted introduce the idea, the concept, whether it's this vendor or whoever we use. I would like to establish a time where we invite this gentleman in to demonstrate their capabilities. As a matter of fact, he did it right there. He did a mock interview with me right there. And then it transcribes it in English and Spanish, and there's automatic follow-up. So I don't know if this is the particular product that we want, and I don't know what YouTube offers.
It's available for free.
I'm just doing this to plant the seed to say, is this something we would like to pursue further?
You can do what you like. I'm just saying it's already a service that's free
I heard.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's
Maybe that's a better
necessary,
option, but
but
we aren't even considering it right now, so I'd like to,
to pay for it
Jamie-
doesn't make sense.
well, we'll get to that point. What if he's offering it for free, which I'm sure he's not, but I don't know like you said, at that point in time, if we're interested in this concept, then we would certainly want to look at YouTube or any other options that might be out there for this. But I was interested to hear what he was saying, and like I said, that was my first question: are other counties using this? And at the time, he was saying no, they've been using working with state agencies and stuff currently, and now they're going down to the county level. And this message today, it shared with me the specific counties that are now working with the pilots. So again, I'm not asking for any commitment other than to give them maybe a half an hour of time at a workshop to demonstrate what they might do for us. And in that workshop, I would want to have IT here, somebody from Children and Youth, somebody from area agency.
Is this something that transcribes commissioner meetings, or you're saying?
No, a clientele meeting, when they're doing an interview with, that they all have to prepare notes, and he was talking about the efficiencies of, especially with human service agencies being so short-staffed, this just makes them more efficient in their fields, that they don't have to be transcribing notes by hand, that this does it for them. So it's something we should be looking at. See, does it, is it gonna make us more efficient? So I have no idea what the cost is.
Sure, they know what to charge.
Well, I'm sure you do too, but I'm saying I have no idea what the cost, or what the investment or the benefit turn on that investment. So again, I'm suggesting that we invite him for a workshop session sometime next month or so. Told him, if we did anything like this, it would have budget implications too, so we wouldn't be able to commit to anything other than to take a look at it.
Ready for the next time?
Mhm.
And what group are these people with?
I've just seen that shirt.
Yes, these people look familiar to me, but I'm not sure we've met.
Oh, when I'm here,
Okay.
however you want to do it, it's up to you.
That's good.
Come on in.
Nancy Gates, with BLB, so it's so nice to meet you. I haven't
Have
met
you
you
met
yet.
yet?
No, I haven't.
I told her everything she needed to know.
All right.
Yeah, but
Then
I
I'll-
see
then
your
I'll
name
step
on our,
Then you should probably.
on papers, at least in our files, but I haven't,
Yeah, no.
but now you're making, so.
Eight on the same. I just fit the page. They're gonna be 8.5 miles. I just did.
Okay, good.
Handouts as we go.
Well, what I'd like to do as we start, your tape, anyways,
Wait.
I get it.
What?
I just picked the first coloring pages up. This is from one school district. And I thought since we were coming here, I just wanted to pass them through.
Okay.
The Dixon Foundation gave us, a grant. And part of it we're using for the coloring pages. And, I actually have, 3 items from the older students out in my car. I didn't want to bring them in because of the weather. But I thought just a quick look.
Very cool.
I was really waiting, hoping to see them soon, which Friday's the deadline. But, this person at Lebanon High had given her people a deadline earlier. And I just picked them up before it came here, and I thought, I have to show them.
And they will be judged by Carrie.
Yeah, they were judged at the school and narrowed down to what they gave us. Like, we don't get all of the coloring pages, or
How many
we have
different,
thousands.
How many different examples are there?
There were 7.
I think
That's
so.
okay, it's good,
Yeah.
close enough.
Yeah.
But, just to see what's
Great.
coming.
Neat project.
Since I'm showing that, before we start on our list of things, I have a story to tell. I was at, Visit Lebanon Valley just a few days ago, and a lady came in as I was leaving. And we got to talking. Well, we took her picture by Lebanon Lily and the bell, and she held up her wooden nickel. But the reason why she was there was because her child got a wooden nickel at school for doing a coloring page. And the child came home and said, Mommy, she said, we need to go get these nickels, but you can't get this nickel. It's a special nickel. So the kids are coming home and telling their parents, and they're going out and doing it. So,
And I had to order more when it go.
I think the number is 15,000.
Yeah,
Number.
the next batch, yes, because GAL is doing a program on it on May 13th. There'll be 4 or 5 different segments on that program at all different locations throughout the county. So that'll be on May 13th. So
And if you don't know the wood,
nickels will be flying out of the shelves.
and the wood nickels that Bonnie was talking about, they're the ones that are exclusively given to
The kids.
the students.
Just the
College.
kids.
Just for kids.
So adults have to pry one from the hands.
He told me not to take any wood nickels.
I know, the wood nickels are increasing in price, so currency rate is increasing on those.
Yeah, they went up 2 cents or
2 cents per.
15,000 times 15,000. Yeah.
Art, before we start with Art, is there anything that you folks need to ask us? We'll cover that. And then from that point, we'll go down the line.
Floor is yours.
Where's my ours?
Okay.
Go for it, Tom.
I just want to say thank you for all your support financially so far in this endeavor, and also VLB for their financial support and contribution last year and into this year. And their people support too. They've been helping out with creating things on Facebook, the events, and a couple different things, helping us boost posts and taking care of those costs and that money that they allocated for the 250th. So I'm just going to recap the overall marketing efforts to date, and then the plan for this last push into June and up to July 4th, obviously. Because my biggest fear, and they've heard me say this, is like 200 people show up that day. My second biggest fear is 20,000 people show up that day. But I just want to make sure that no one says they didn't know.
Sounds like you're never happy.
Right, no.
That's my sweet spot.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is, I'm trying to cover all those different marketing channels as we go through this wonderful thing called the 250th. Oh, and just for the record, I don't know if you've been paying attention to what other counties do. I don't think anyone's doing near what Lebanon County's doing. I just, there might be a parade. I'm not knocking any other county, but I mean, seriously, I would be, except for maybe the Philadelphia area, right? But they have a right to do a big show. So social media, primarily Facebook and some Instagram, we're continuing to promote local events. Any group in Lebanon County, if they have something historical related, they can pass it on. We'll add it to our calendar. So there's a calendar, ongoing calendar with anything history related on the website. and then also through, Facebook.
And then we're doing the weekly History Happens Here posts. That's a series that I started a couple weeks ago. So it highlights historical building or traction, what have you, within the county every Thursday. So that's been going over, I think, pretty well too.
And then we'll continue to share info, continuously related to the big event on July 4th. About 50 to 60 days out, which is creeping up on us right now. We're gonna start like a countdown clock, like 60 days, 59 days. We kind of do that through social media. Outdoor average, so that's kind of our social media stuff that's happening. Then outdoor advertising. We're gonna get a billboard sign in Schaeferstown on 897. That should be going up next week. It's a 4x8. It's two-sided. It's actually on my property, so there's no charge. Jamie knew exactly where this was gonna go. And then we're looking at doing digital billboards through Kegerized, 3 spots on 422, one on the edge of Anvil Cleona, one near the mall, and then the one on the east side. And this is where I'm just looking for maybe a confirmation of financial commitment. We don't have any sponsor for that. The breakdown I have now for those digital billboards might come in around $2,500. So I just wanted to kind of get, before we pay that and commit to that, I just wanted to get some kind of confirmation that you'd be willing to kind of cover those costs. There'll be an invoice coming similar to what was before for the different things we've been producing, getting printed. And then there'll probably be one small one at the end. But I just wanted to bring that up, that before we commit to that.
Do you know what we have budgeted for you?
I don't know if there was a budget.
We've asked. All we've been doing is turning bills in, from way back when if you give us an amount, but we never.
The budgeted amount in the 2026 budget is the same as it was in 2025. I think it was 10,000. I'm off the top of it.
And how much did we give you this year so far? 6?
I don't know
I'd
unless
have
I
to
go
look.
back and add it
I'd
up.
have to look.
I couldn't tell you. That's the first I heard a number.
Right. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. We would do that. The plan is for those 3 digital boards would be that like last 3 weeks push of
And that's 2,500 each.
no total.
See,
That's the total spend.
that's my conclusion was that sounds pretty reasonable. If it's even
If it's all
2,500
three.
each. but
Yeah, I
that's
think it's like,
2,500 total.
I think it's 200 per impression.
No.
I have the breakdown.
Just-
It's something like 200 per impression per week.
For sponsorships, though, that's not a big ask.
So I just wanted to kind of bring that up. That's like one thing we don't have
Right.
like covered for. It was kind of outside the norm of what we've been turning in. We also have digital ads running on that Color Tech board on 9th Street. It's a current message there now. They also have the federal version of the 250th running too. Might change that digital board as we go with maybe a little bit more info about the actual 4th of July event. Just you got to watch that billboard small and it isn't always legible. There'll be digital text on the expo sign 2 to 3 weeks in advance of the 4th. So we got that character count. We'll have messaging up on the expo board those couple weeks out. We have the large sandwich boards. Well, actually, just the small sandwich boards too. Obviously, they go to existing sponsors. But if we know of any businesses that want one of them, is willing to set one out, we can make sure they get those. We have a couple in inventory that are already kind of paid for. And then obviously the banners in downtown Lebanon, they've been up since January. I think they look great. I wish we had 50 more, to be honest.
I would have loved it.
Yeah.
You know me.
And Horst has been very cooperative because we've had some come down and some need to get reprinted. And if we get them the banner, whatever, they pretty much get that fixed within a couple days. So then print, we did a trade. You might have seen that with your advertiser. They've been giving us full page ads. Been in every month since January.
January is the first one from me.
Been mixing the message up a little bit each time. There'll be in June, it won't be a full page ad. If you're familiar, your advertiser does this spread. There's like an ad in the middle and then there's $50 blocks around it. So they're going to try and sell all those blocks in support of the 250th. So that was kind of the deal. The sponsorship was then can they sell those blocks around it. They've been very, very helpful. Nancy and I briefly talked yesterday about, maybe potentially doing something with Levtown. We discussed it yesterday. It might be some, reach out to them and do some type of, ad buy, because there was money, I don't want to speak for you, Nancy, but there was money allocated for something that now got sponsored. So I don't want to say freed up,
portion of it got-
freed up a portion of it. So maybe we can,
Maybe the Daily News will give you.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. talk to Nancy after that. Then things like we have a thing that we call a quarter sheet handout. We've distributed thousands of those so far. That's kind of thing we hand out at parades. And at different things. We're in the process of changing that right now. I just sent it through for everyone to look at today. Once we get this last version of that quarter sheet, we're gonna get the whole thing translated. So one side's in Spanish, one side's in French for this last part leading up.
French.
Spanish.
It's so global.
We do have a large French population.
I was clearly working on
Well,
Canadian
I'm here
packaging.
to go to France and like market our.
No, I was looking at so much Canadian packaging today and looking at the French and English. That's why French is in my head. There's also gonna be a car show that day. I don't know if you've all heard, brought two of those flyers today.
Oh, yeah, see the Eiffel Tower in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Right, France, go, well, France did give us a lot of money.
Exactly.
To help people.
The Liberty, or the Statue of
Statue of
Liberty.
Right, Central Liberty.
They sent troops too.
Yeah, they did. And they also did a blockade that stopped the British. That's a whole thing.
Yeah,
Well, you're a walking billboard. Do we have to
I
pay
was
you?
gonna say,
No,
no.
I'm free. Um, The goal for the car show, which I think is very aggressive, but Bonnie and Ben both think it's doable, is to get 250 cars.
He asked how many plaques ordered, how many dash plaques, and I said
Cars.
150.
So there's gonna be a,
There's a theme
He's
here.
got 10% of it. He could bring 25.
when I'm busy that day. So there's gonna be a special dash plaque
Connections.
that day, a 3x4 dash plaque. There will only be 250 of these.
Yes.
Do you have to register in advance to get one?
You register in advance, it's $10. The day of, it's 15.
Okay, make sure I get an application.
We'll give you one.
Okay.
So that'll be kind of a cool thing. We've since, car show was originally gonna be earlier in the day. We've moved it back so that the car show people can come to their car show. Car show ends at 8, but they're welcome to stay in their spot for the fireworks. So hopefully we'll get 250 cars. That'll get us to my worry of 200 people.
We'll have more than
I
that.
don't know.
And that's to be in the soccer field portion?
It was
where-
supposed to be, but
Okay.
we moved it to, outside of the North Hall.
Oh, so
I understand.
inside the fence then?
No, it's that center area where you come in.
Oh, okay.
They made it sound like they've done that before.
Just sort of
They've
the
done it with
lenses.
truck shows and things, and
But segregated from
yes,
parking?
yes, yeah.
Just a little bit closer to all the other.
To free up that
activities.
parking.
Yeah, to free up the soccer
Yeah.
field parking, but also
Now
to make the cars a little bit closer to where some of the other attractions and things are gonna be, so it'll be a little bit easier for
Okay.
people to move around from one
Yeah,
place.
for them to go
another.
in and out of the day's events, and also for people that are in for the day's events to come out and see the car show. It's not like you're walking across the. Because you could put things a half mile apart at the expo center if you're not careful. Radio, we have a trade with Wilbur and Froggy. Those radio spots will run
Alrighty.
continuously until the big event. Nancy helped get those coordinated and set up and sent us a little sneak peek like last week or the week before. Sounded great. There's also a possible Spanish internet radio opportunity, still working through those deals. Apparently there's a popular internet Spanish radio station. We're trying to work out that deal. TV, Nancy mentioned the GAL promos, but there's still one to film.
Yeah, tomorrow morning I'll be out at Cornwall Iron Furnace. We'll be filming that around 9 o'clock tomorrow morning at Cornwall Iron Furnace, and that'll be the last segment that we have yet to film. They've been at Seltzer's, Cornwall Iron Furnace, Mount Gretna Historical Society, Visit Lebanon Valley offices, and I might be forgetting one.
Pretty much all of the wood and nickel.
Yeah, they're all, at least one of the locations for each nickel. So there are 5 in total. And they will all air on May the 13th, but various times throughout the day, starting at the 5 a.m. news or 6 a.m. newscast, 7 a.m., et cetera, and then throughout the day. So they'll air a new segment each time throughout the day. So it'll be 5 different segments on GAL, which is the number one, busiest station in the market for us. So that's going to be really, hence the additional 15,000 wouldn't inquire.
And this is the second or third time for Nichols.
It's at least the 3rd time.
It's awesome. You know, help spread it.
I'm running out of money though. Nickel money.
But if you have wooden nickel on your bingo card today, you win, right?
Yeah, well, and we'd really like the program to at least extend through the 4th of July. So, that would really be the goal. After that, it can kind of fade off into the sunset, but we just feel really important that it continue at least through the 4th of July. So more nickels have our own order.
And if children are going home with their special wooden nickel and driving their parents to, hey, we need to get the whole collection, we
Well,
have to go to those historical spots. That's what it was all about.
right, and then also, I think it's Cornwall Lebanon Middle School.
Oh, yes.
Is also doing it for their entire junior high school group, the Wooden Nickel program. So I've ordered additional flyers to accommodate for them, and also the 1,500 students in their whole middle school grades are going to be going through and getting that information just after their Memorial Day. I guess it's not Memorial Day. They have like an outdoor day, and so right after that is when they're going to be pushing this program to all of the students in the middle school area. So that's also going to add a lot of 1,500 students and their families out on the trail too at the same time. So May is going to be Wooden Nickel Month.
Then we get to the Lebanon bus graphics. We were hoping to get a sponsorship of that. We hadn't been able to work that out. We had developed graphics to go on two different buses. We haven't been able to secure and nail down that sponsorship. So that would be the other ask today. If we get these wraps, the cost is, I think, like 2,800 for both. So that would be something out of the ordinary. It would really be nice to have 2 buses driving around the county without graphics on. Also, because they are providing free bus transportation day of. I don't know if everyone knows that. I think it's now starting around noon
12 noon.
at 7th and Willow, though. I literally just got the map of the bus route sitting in the parking lot.
That's huge.
Yeah,
I mean, if people,
and they're gonna make all the stops, and they'll run until everyone is out of the expo center that wants to take the bus back. So
So just 7th and Willow to the expo, or are you saying stops on the way?
yeah, there's
All the
something
stuff.
Yeah, second one along the way. They talked about doing it at along the corridor where like the Target and
Sorry,
Lowe's and
Kohl's and Target, Lowe's and Giant grocery store.
I would show you the map, but
That's okay.
If they have a full bus when they leave 7th and Willow, they will go directly from 7th and Willow to the expo.
Okay.
So, and then
If
if
it's
it's
not
full,
full.
if it's not full, then they will make those other stops.
then they're gonna do that regular route, which is like the plaza and like all those stops.
Right.
They will do that.
So people can get on and off at any of those places.
Like
Probably, yeah.
walkers could get on and off, or people that want to park their car over at the plaza or somewhere, park their car, have the transportation out to the fairgrounds. And then when they're ready to go back, they'll just repeat the same steps, but in reverse.
And hopefully that helps with the folks that think the fireworks got moved from Coleman's and now it's inconvenience out at the expo center. So hopefully that bus transportation can help.
Have you coordinated, have you talked to PennDOT, because they off and on have had that section of 72 closed off and traffic is backed up horrendously. They're recommending people use Cornwall Road instead of 72.
We've been with DES and we have another meeting on May 18th.
But Department of
That's not-
Emergency Service is not the same as PennDOT.
It's the services, the police, the various police, the fire folks were there. So
Was PennDOT there?
But not PennDOT.
No, we did not reach out to PennDOT. We're going through them because.
That
they
is
go
my
to the next level.
recommendation, that you reach out to PennDOT
For what part?
I don't know.
on Cumberland Street.
You said
72.
Cornwall Road, I think, at first.
No, Cornwall
or
Road is
Road.
an alternative to 72. PennDOT is located on Cumberland Street.
Yeah, so close to 16th Street, 16th and Cumberland. No, we
You mean
didn't
as a-
reach out to them.
I'm not, as a stop, or are you saying that?
Make
To
sure-
find
okay
out
with
if
that.
72 is going to be worked on during this time.
This is for the, this is my question,
Yeah.
is this for the buses?
This is for the
I
buses.
think so.
Is that what she's asking?
I think so.
Okay.
CL,
Lebanon Transit's gonna have to know.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
They
they
actually,
know it.
they actually sent us the bus route map today, so I'm assuming they know. And if there's an issue in 72, I would assume that bus route would
Then
be
they,
rerouted somehow.
they'd hop over to
But it
Quincy.
would be nice to know the information so you could plan in advance.
I would guess it would also be open for traffic on Saturday, July 4th, whether there's construction there or not. I mean, they wouldn't close
They
it,
shouldn't be working
So it
that
ought
day
to be-
anyway.
you know, right, it'll be open to traffic and no construction on July 4th.
Right.
Of
Unless it's
Saturday.
an emergency.
We'll
right?
check on it.
Yeah.
You can make a call and see.
If they're doing, do you know that they're doing construction? Is that scheduled?
That's the point. I don't, but they're, like,
Yeah.
this morning again, it was blocked and I couldn't get through and I went Cornwall Road. So
Oh.
for an event this big and telling people to park at the
Yeah.
plaza, just make sure that it's a,
I was gonna say,
road.
that could be the gas company or a water line or anything if it would, you
Right.
know, and that can come out of the woodwork.
I understand emergencies, but I'm talking scheduled repairs.
Next.
I'm gonna go back to the CLA and just make sure that they like, hey, have you checked, make sure there's no construction there, because I'm assuming they would probably know. So I'm just bringing up if we, that would be another ask for today before we commit to that $2,800. I just didn't know if we had the county support to actually do that.
We can't vote here today.
No, I know, but I mean, before we
I mean,
commit that money.
if the county can, or if you're already up against the budget with the 10, I was gonna ask if I could meet with you right after for,
Okay,
maybe we go back to the well with, previous.
okay.
I mean, we're
That would be
working,
great.
we're working hard and we're still
Yeah.
trying to.
It's just these kind of last two
We wanna
pieces,
get you over the line, you know.
these last two pieces I'd love to have in
Yeah,
place and
yeah.
they're kind of above and beyond what the normal ask is.
Well, and on top of that, we keep hearing from, what event? I mean, all of us have heard it and we're thinking, we're putting things out, you know, news
See,
media.
now you're not making me feel, now you're back to my big fear again.
I know, I'm sorry. Close your ears.
It is, it is
It'll-
early yet.
I think so too. I've already noticed it ramping
better
up
anyhow.
just in the last month compared to this past year. So, and we will have 250
Okay.
cars.
Do we want to make a $250 bet? Oh, wait, we can't. We shouldn't talk about
No.
Not here.
that, not
No.
here. So then the last bit that I have is, obviously the internet and the website continuously being updated. We're probably updating with events and changes, and as sponsorships change almost on a weekly basis, if not multiple times in a week, yeah. There's also a potential trade with the Macaroni Kid. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's that would reach the homeschooler community. Just haven't been able to work that out. But if we can work that out, we'll have that exposure too. So,
Okay. Dan, would you like to go next or Nancy?
I really don't, I don't have any other than, just kind of supporting Tom here
Okay.
on some of those efforts. I
Okay.
think we've seen a lot of, people coming in for the nickels, of course, and I'm really excited about the GAL programs that are going to be airing. And I think that'll be giving a lot of exposure, not only to the nickel program, but just to some of our great assets in the county as well. So we're really excited for that.
and if you know of any other opportunities that we could take advantage of, just let us know. We're trying to cover all of them, but you just don't know. how.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, I have a few different things here, but I mentioned the coloring pages. I showed you those. Did you get them back or are they up there? Okay. The other thing we were doing was patches for our veterans. And our original patch had the Liberty Bell and Statue of Liberty. I'm going to pass around the patch that was designed by the committee, mostly this fella here.
Well, no, not really, but that's okay.
Well, what, level 11,
Yep.
business here in town. Those will be handed out on July 4th. At the fair.
Very nice.
I thought it was awesome.
Beautiful.
We're very happy with the patch. But they'll be handed out to veterans. Your Veterans Affair person, Scott Core, will be there. The plan is to have them at his table. The leftovers will then come back here to
Scott,
Scott, so that in the next 6 months or whatever, if there are other Lebanon County veterans that come here to the courthouse to file paperwork or do something, they'll be available and he can give them. We ordered 5,000 of those. So I'm hoping to hand out 2,500, maybe 3,000 that day.
I hope it's more than 200.
More than 250? Okay, so you heard about the wooden nickels, you heard about the coloring program. The wooden bell right now, Dr. Yoakum's wooden bell is out at North Lebanon Township School District. It will have one more move, and that is to Anvil Cleona. I know they're A, so you'd think they'd get the bell first. They requested to have the bell at the very end because they wanted to have the bell the closest to the 4th of July. So after the bell is finished at Northern Lebanon, it goes to Anvil Cleona. Then it will come back to the expo until the 4th. And then after that is when Dr. Yoakum will get it back. We can't say enough for him allowing us to have that bell. And every school district it's been to, they've taken pictures and photos and talked about it with the children. They just loved it. So we were happy about that. You heard about the coloring pages and the art projects. That will move on now to the next level to be judged when I receive all the pages from all the school districts. There are readings that have gone on in some of the libraries. Because of the busyness of the library and trying to get times that the committee can go there. Some of those are going to happen after the 4th of July, through the summer and possibly into the fall. For military, for Doug Etter, he's working with IGMR. He was also involved with the patches, and they are scheduled to participate on July 4th. It's still iffy what will be coming. They've offered us certain things, and we've accepted everyone that they've said they would bring. He requested, and they put in a request for 2 helicopters, hoping that maybe we'll get 1. Since there's action somewhere else in the world, we don't know if we'll get any at this point. So I also put in through the warbirds that are located in Lancaster County, asking if there's any possibility that they would consider it. I'm probably at the 3rd level now. It's 75 to 80% completed. If the gap doesn't, I shouldn't say completed, 75 to 80% positive. If the gap does not bring us any of the helicopters. But again, that all depends on weather. Even if it's a nice day, but it's cloudy, they won't fly. So that's a
They
possibility.
did ask us to verify a landing area and designate a landing area, so that's kind of.
Well, and they got back to me on that.
Yeah.
One of the pilots said that there's nowhere to land at the fairground.
Lifeline has landed there already.
I know, I did not argue. So at that point, I said, could you do a flyover? At least a low flyover, which they'd have to get approval for.
they could land in the stormwater system over at the conservation district.
I mean, there's numerous places around there. If they say yes, then we'll work out those little things. But I've been back and forth with them for quite a while. I mean, like I said, we're 80% there, but I didn't get the 100% yet. So that's continuing. I know there's possibility of a wagon coming from IGMR, something that they located recently that has some history to it. I don't know if that's coming. as talking about wagons, I'll skip over to the wagons. We had a request, and we've been trying to raise funds for the wagons. We did get a sponsorship for the Conestoga wagon. Conestoga wagon is coming. We hoped for 10 wagons. But then the Richland Fire Company is bringing some of their very old hand type pump apparatus. So we took the fire apparatus off of that, so that would make 9. At this point in time, as we sit here, we have 7 of them sponsored. So myself and the committee, we're fine if that's all we get. I mean, that's,
What's cost per event?
well, the Conestoga was $2,000. Okay, there were 2 others, an ice wagon and a butcher wagon that are also $2,000. And I more or less took those off the list. The only way we'll get those is if someone comes up with the money. Talking about that, is it RJ Sells Body
Body
Shop?
shop.
They are doing all the transportation of the wagons from Lancaster County to here and back afterwards. And that's their gift to the 250th and to the county.
We're taking Lancaster wagons.
Yeah. None of us understand why Lancaster isn't using their wagons. Lancaster never reached out
No.
for
If
any.
if you go to the website, there's a special section for the wagon sponsorship, and you can see who sponsored what wagon and which wagons are left.
So we're very happy about that.
Did you say the website URL?
I did, it is LebanonPA250.com. I have to look because it's.
In conjunction with that, we're looking for people to sponsor the program booklet that's being put together. I do have one that's coming. I handed out paperwork the other day. There are speakers coming. Oh, I also heard from David Geiger, if you heard me mention his name before. He's the gentleman that will be bringing the Revolutionary Rifle and other memorabilia. And today, I didn't get to tell the committee yet, because I was on the phone with him around noontime today. He and Aaron are offering, they will help in any way they can, day of or up to day of. And if you have any ideas of anything, David is the gentleman that's, he's an international arms appraiser, and he consults down at the Smithsonian. He lives in Lancaster County in Lidditz. And no one over there has even asked for anything from him. And
Because what is the rifle he's bringing? Is it a Benjamin Franklin something?
it was used in the Revolutionary
Yeah.
War. Yeah. Remember when we saw, I mean, Dan
It's
and
like
I,
one of a handful. It's not like it's a special. He's gonna bring it then.
he's going to speak 2 times that day. The things he's bringing, he said, may be touched. And when he said that day, I was like, we can touch it. So he picked it up and handed it.
I held it.
Dan held it, I held it. I mean, a saber that was in the Revolutionary War. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
Something else, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is 250 years later. It's, first of all, it's still here and it's intact. Second of all, wouldn't you want to keep it somewhere very safe? And this gentleman, he gives talks, and like he says, he's a hands-on kind of person. The other gentleman, I'm just saying his name, Aaron, he's like a background kind of person. He doesn't want to be noticed out in the public. It's actually, some of the things that are coming are his, but David's the one that knows all about them. So we're looking forward to that. We still need more volunteers. And I'm trying, and maybe one of you has a better contact. The day of, on July 4th at 12 noon, we would like all the city and county churches to ring their bell. Now, that's called Bells Across America, but also when the Declaration was signed years ago, I wasn't there, of course. You might think I was, but the bells rang. I mean, between either a town crier ringing his bell or the church bells ringing was the way news got passed through the colonies. So we're trying to get any and all churches involved, and they don't have to ring it for long. I mean, if they ring it, say 5 minutes, if they even ring that, just to get the word across the county that one of the things I like to say is God's blessing, we're still here. You know, our country started with all sorts of frustrations and fights and 250 years later, we still don't always see eye to eye, but we're all still here and we're still trying, and we're still trying to be the USA. My goal for the day of July 4th is to bring everybody together. If you're tall or short, you know, if you're an educated person or you're someone that is not educated, but you're an American and you're here, may you enjoy that day. May you have a memory that you carry through your lifetime and pass on. That's a big goal of mine. I think that's about, one thing with Mayor Capello, and she may be passing this along at some point. She was at our meeting yesterday, our large meeting, and I think it's July 1st. The time capsule, in around that time period, the time capsule will be dug up and opened. It must be reburied by the 31st of July. So there's more information coming on that. Some things were kicked around, what might go in the time capsule. One of the things was the wooden nickels, so make sure you say.
I'm gonna hide 5.
And she also read what the instructions were. That needs to be, you know, opened at a certain time. I guess there's things to be read and things that need to be put back in. Doesn't say, as far as we know, that you can't move it. So possibly we're gonna move that time capsule out to the expo and have that on display that day so that people can see it. Assuming we're not violating any of the instructions.
Yeah.
Inside the time capsule.
Then after the fact, between July 4th and July 31st, it will then be taken back. Things will be added to it, as it says. Then it will be taken back and reburied.
Would either like shellac or varnish help to preserve those wooden nickels longer into the future, especially if they're going to be in a ground where it's damp?
That's a great question. I don't know the
Yeah, we're
answer.
not sure what the box that was done 50 years ago. We don't know the size of it
Yes.
or much more than that as far as how much we can put in it
And there
either.
might be specific
So-
instructions about what needs to go in.
In, you
I'm
know,
not sure.
Well, I think they were hoping that there would be room like to put the nickels in. One of the patches, I don't know, somebody said yesterday about possibility of a program of our program on July 4th. But not until that's dug up and that all happens, we don't know for sure.
I hope that'll be a nice PR opportunity as well, community opportunity. So
Correct.
working with her to.
Correct.
Bonnie brought up the program. We have the cover design. I forgot to print that out and bring it along. There is a picture of it up on the website. We're looking to have, lots of information, share some of the articles and stories about what we did up to this 250th. And then the ads, certain sponsorship levels get ads in the program, but then we're also selling either full page or half page, or either $300 or $500. And we're hoping the ads cover all the costs for that program. I think we said we got to sell 10 ads. We get 10 ads, that whole thing will be covered. And one of the things I've been trying to do is I've been trying to keep all of the production of these items in Lebanon County. So they're trying to use local printers, local vendors, so that,
Right.
all of our money stays within our county for what our county's doing.
Do you have an idea at this point how many vendors we have lined up?
we have over 70 vendors that are coming. So the West Hall is full. The overflow of those, some of those will be in the North Hall where the wagons are going, and possibly over to the East Hall if necessary.
That's huge. That's great.
And different things outside as well too. activities.
Awesome.
Yes, yes. Well, the face painting and all kinds of, lots of things for the children to do. So we're happy about that. And we're still accepting, vendors to reach out, and come, either be a demonstrator and show what they have and maybe, speak or something. The car show, there's a band that's going to be playing for 2 hours during the car show, but then we'll also have a DJ that will play in between. There's a lot of really neat things coming, things that you see everywhere, but then there's some other unusual things. So we're happy about that.
We've been hesitant on the sharing the itinerary because it's such a moving target. But there will be something up on the website and shared on social media within the next couple of days. We just made some changes. Well, yesterday,
Tuesday.
things change, and then it's just gonna be subject to change, and then we'll make one last change.
And the fireworks update from Mayor Capello, she now or either just sent them out or they're getting ready to go out to solicit funds towards the fireworks. So
Bonnie Bob asked about trash removal.
I knew that was a trash
Volunteering,
We're
yeah.
anxious,
I'm ready. I'm looking forward to seeing your outfit. I heard about the outfit. you wear.
Practice for the fair.
Is that outfit?
Yeah. We all
No.
ready.
Now this year, will it be in red, white, and blue?
We're gonna disclose everything.
That's a secret.
You should know.
Oh, Mike kept saying trash is taken care
Yeah.
of.
On that point,
All Uncle Sam's, I'm envisioning.
Yeah.
All Uncle Sam's.
With the beard.
we need you.
That'd be cute. That'd be cute.
Anyway,
You're gonna be cute. I thought you were past.
That would be cute for the volunteer flyer there, Tom.
Huh?
Need you with Uncle Sam.
That would be good.
Volunteer.
We should do that.
but
The billboard.
you do know that we're hoping to have, if it hasn't been, it hasn't been extended at this point, but the letters being written, asking the politicians and other dignitaries to speak at one of the ceremonies. Either or, I'm thinking it's the 7:00
Yeah,
ceremony?
I think we were targeting, again, times aren't firm yet, but we were looking at the evening, maybe 7-ish timeframe.
Before the fireworks.
Before the fireworks. We will be having a small opening welcome sort of thing at 1:00 when things are starting, but we think that perhaps maybe there won't be as many people there right at 1:00. So we were thinking later, right prior to the fireworks would be a time when there will be a greater number of visitors and guests attendance.
I'll have to put a time limit on those comments. No one in this room would go over that. A lot. You might want to.
Well, and reading the Declaration of Independence. And it was funny. I asked Tom when I came back from a conference this past weekend about, I would like a large, what would you call, I'll say billboard type thing, with the Declaration of Independence on it, so that as people come to the expo, they can sign it. So then they can say they were a signer. But then yesterday, when Mayor Capello was there, she mentioned something that there may be some sort of,
Like there's a copy of the Declaration of Independence that, I don't know if local officials signed it that day in 1976, something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
so we have to check into that some more.
I'll tell you who's a great speaker for something like that. Doug Etter.
Oh, well, we have him corralled. Trust
Yeah,
me.
We got it locked
He
down.
would nail it.
Well, we do have someone reciting or reading the declaration, but then also it will be repeated in Spanish. One of the principals in one of the city school districts will be doing that. I also asked Abe Lincoln to come to the fairgrounds. He's going to be out at Indiantown Gap on June 6th. And Abe said that he can make it to the fairgrounds on July 4th. So
And that's happened.
yes, and his hat. And if any of you know any reenactors, like a Ben Franklin, a Betsy Ross, anybody, you know, we'd love to see all of that there.
Betsy will be there. Don't get it, Betsy. Betsy will be
Well,
there.
I know Betsy will be there, but I don't know that Betsy's going to, are you going to demonstrate and give a program and,
Betsy will be there.
okay, well, there'll be a Betsy there. And so,
Not good at taking cues as you
No.
go going. Right.
as you know, we did the mosaic, we have the two bells, we've had the kickoff. We're out and about the county.
The bell that's in our office will go, that's gonna be right in the Memorial Day, parade. We're looking at that. And then the one that's in our office, will move over to the Expo Center for the 4th of July, and then it will stay on view there through the fair. And then I'm also currently talking with, Carrie out at Mount Gretna. The artist, that did the bell is, going to have a role in, the art show this year. So I've offered if they would like to have the bell on display out at Mount Gretna during the art show weekend, to tie in with that artist's work and other things that they're doing. So
And
she's,
Jim Rudiger.
yes, Jim. And so, so she's looking for a spot for that to potentially happen. But, you know, again, that'll all be, and then I think it'll come back to our office after that. At least that's the plan till the end of the year, at which time it will go to the Historical Society. We'll have that bell for the county.
Is the mosaic staying at the expo in perpetuity then?
Well, we're hoping for it to stay there in perpetuity. At this point, that's the plan. Unless something changes, with the expo and everything.
It is such a great idea that that mosaic is made of glass because that people can touch it. Like it's one of those things you typically can't touch the art projects, right? But that one can be, so it's kind of an interesting.
And all the people that helped make them
I know.
touched it.
I know.
You know, that in itself is pretty
Yeah, it's
neat.
And
amazing.
the quilt.
And the other thing that happened was the quilt through the Lebanon Quilters, that will be auctioned off on July 4th. And I believe John Tyson said is going to auction it. But that was another one that had many hands from our area, from 3 to 93. We have a child that was 3 years old, put some stitches in. Well, she said 93-ish, so we're saying 93. But another way that we've tried to bring the group together, and I just had someone reach out to me today, I didn't talk to you yet. There's a group that would like to learn about quilting. And I thought, well, I told them about Lebanon
Betsy
quilting.
Ross. Learn how to quilt.
Yes, Betsy, so bring some of your quilting. So I think we're finished unless someone has something to add or you have something to ask.
I was gonna suggest that there be one more visit, probably between now and the 4th. You'll have an itinerary
Yeah.
and you'll be able to
Sure.
maybe share that as well then.
Public meeting, yeah.
Like mid-June.
Yeah.
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 I
Get your date while if you want.
Summer recess.
Do one of our public meetings.
Yeah.
Regular-
Oh, you mean a
Regular
Thursday?
public meeting, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Extra meeting.
What would you like?
Get it out.
Rather than a workshop.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Like just come to a meeting and give a.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Third Thursday in June. Check it out.
It's good timing.
And I would like to make a comment, going back to Tom started. He's thanking us and you mentioned about you take pride in what we're doing compared to other counties. It's what you're doing. You're the heart and soul, you people around this table and the time and effort that you're putting into this is a result of that, so God bless you. Thank you. We're honored to support what you're doing.
My pleasure. Yes,
Thank
we're
you.
thankful for your support. And our committee is awesome. I mean, we're human and there are times that we have to hash things over a few times till we get it to where it needs to be, but it's been a good tour and a good, it's just been good.
Thank you all.
It's sort of, I came on the committee expecting to be a committee member and then the way things transpired, but everybody's pulling their weight. In fact, we could use a few more that would, but everybody wants to help. until you want to.
So that's another thing. Let me just say that on the website, the volunteer tab, you can pull it down. There's a sign up genius there where people could just sign up to do certain things on different days. So there is like public access. They can just sign up. They don't have
And the website again is,
LebanonPA250.com.
The time for the meeting on the 18th is that 9:30?
It's the meeting. I'll give you,
Okay.
probably be maybe 10. We could do top of the hour, 10.
Okay, whatever. I was just going to write it in.
Yep.
Thank you.
He does coloring pages.